Well, we're here with Jacob Clinch and Don House.
In the house.
You guys are cutmen, and well, I hate stoppages. Cut stoppages. So you guys are my heroes. You guys fixed Forrest Griffith's cut in his forehead, got him to win against Shogun, kept Joe Stevenson from bleeding, long enough for BJ Penn to choke him out. It's a dream job. How did you guys get into the business?
Go ahead, House.
Me, purely accidental.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah.
What's up?
I used to train and work with
Mexico champ?
actually the owners.
How you doing, man?
They had their own little private gym. So I would train my fighters there. I had about 6 or 7 more attempts in boxing. I would train one of my guys. We was getting ready for Roy Jones. After that fight, I went back to that gym, still worked with Dana. And he asked me what I trained Tito. I said, well, crazy. I trained Tito. I was thinking I get to go to Puerto Rico. Because I knew they was managing fighters. He said, no, not Tito. From Trinidad. Tito Ortiz. Yeah, let's Tito Ortiz. Right? So he's an MMA fighter, mixed martial arts, no whole bar, live in Huntington Beach. That's how I got started. And after that, it's been Tito Ortiz, Rico Rodriguez, Carlos News, George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva. I had worked with most of them.
That's a pretty random story, but I didn't see UFC as a contestant.
That's basically how I got started.
Me, I had my own school of kickboxing. And in doing that, I trained fighters, I managed fighters, and I had to learn how to work cuts, and I concentrated a lot in kickboxing. I got all my experience in kickboxing, and I wanted to follow my dream to be the best cut man in the business. So 15 years ago, I made the move to Las Vegas, and then the UFC was only boxing at that time, and then Dana, House and I have known Dana for many years. They gave us a call, and I came on board, and it's been history ever since.
Well, pretty much every fight you guys are ever involved in, it has 2 high-level, awesome fighters. How is it decided who gets who, and do you guys ever raise your hand like, oh, I want Cain Velasquez? Do you guys ever have a preference?
No, it's when it comes to wrapping hands. Bert wasn't our coordinator at the weigh-ins. We'll ask him. The UFC, when they hired us, the fighters have an option of having us wrap their hands or having their own trainers wrap their hands. But at the weigh-ins, Bert will ask who wants their hands wrapped by us, and then he'll get the list, and then he'll break them down into individual guys. And in the dressing room, some guys will request House, some guys me, and we'll kind of shuffle them around in the dressing room when we get our sheets. And we're all here to work together, keep in mind. And so, that type of thing, like yesterday I wrapped one of his guys' hands because he was at ringside, and I figured I'm here.
Which counts
so, Tim Hague. I wrapped him.
And then we do that because, we all do a pretty good job, but fighters superstition. And, I want to stick with Stitch because I won the last time with Stitch, so with Stitch not here, oh man, okay, I'll go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm doing the reality show.
For Matt Serra, that was like his thing.
And that's the thing, but here's the thing, we do other things in MMA other than UFC.
Yeah.
So if one of us not here, they got to do what they got to do. But we know that, it's training involved. It's, we give them secure around, protect their hands, but superstition now, we for all that.
And well, I don't think there's going to be too many UFC fighters checking out our vlog, so I got to ask you, who's you guys' favorite fighter?
Oh, no, I'll let them know.
That's one fighter that you guys think is your favorite.
To me, there's too many of them. And we get that question all the time: who's going to win, who's going to lose? And we're coming. We look at the fight entirely different as you do, because our job is to make sure that this fighter we work with goes that one more round. We give them that opportunity to win. And I could wrap the guy that House is working with. He can wrap the guy that I'm working with. It's just the way that. So we're neutral. We don't care who wins, and we love them all, man.
It's so hard too because by coming from the boxing industry, these guys come from a collegiate background, so they all kind of get along. And you kind of like them all. In boxing, we can even sit side by side and have an interview together. That's how much we hate each other.
Yeah.
But in MMA, they can sit here and they can wrestle and grapple together and fight each other and still come out sometimes as friends. So we kind of took that same thing, I don't always like the best fight. I like Chris Latham. And Chris come out and fight, he give you a fight every time. So it's hard to choose which one's my favorite fighter because we could all say Anderson Silva, he's winning, but all of them are pretty decent guys.
And you guys are involved in boxing and MMA all right, I think MMA is the best by far, but you guys have been involved in like some of the best fights. Any fight in particular that sticks out in you guys' mind, or just your favorite fight, just a moment?
Well, in MMA, the fight that sticks out to me is when Anderson Silva fought Chuck Liddell. It was December the 29th in Las Vegas. And the reason I know that is because it was my birthday. So a week before that, I just kind of telling Vandal, hey, it was my birthday, man, good luck, But the fight itself was so tremendous because you could hear the guys cracking, punching each other, and I'm at ringside and I'm thinking, oh, damn. And the fight was so good, and at the end of the fight, I'm working in Chuck's corner. I go and I clean him up, and I go to Vandelay's corner, just, check on him, make sure he's okay, and hey, Vandelay, how you feel? He goes, oh, I'm okay, and he looks at me and says, happy birthday. So right in that moment when he just went the hardest battle of his life, he remembered my birthday and congratulated me right in the middle of the octagon. So to me, that's a very special fight.
And I think to me, and I mentioned his name, was Chris Laban 1 and 2 within 2 weeks apart. And he fought like a warrior, both fights, and he won both fights. I think that was it because he came right back on a short notice call, and he came back to perform just as well as he did the first fight. I can't remember the fighters, but I remember Chris winning both of those fights. Then he lost the third fight.
He's a warrior, man.
He's
that's what he does. He fights.
And well, I mean, there's no one better to ask than you guys. You guys have been there, for most of their UFC fights, and it's looking like 2011, the super fight is going to go down. Who would you guys pick if Anderson Silva and GSP actually fought?
That's people ask me who I thought the best athlete was in MMA, and I got to go hands down with George St. Pierre. Because, and what made the difference until was when Anderson Silva fought Chael Sonnen. He showed some discrepancy, some kinks in the armor for 4.5 rounds. GSP hasn't been there and done that. But in that battle, if as a fan, if I was going to say who's going to win it, one or the other, I would have to go with the bigger guy of Anderson Silva.
I mean, not only that, because I'm going to go with Stitch. The only reason why, because the fact that when I work with GSP, and I say, look, the only person going to beat GSP is GSP until he lost. The only reason why he lost is because he was doing so many charitable things for everybody else. He's such a great guy. I said, gee, you got to think about yourself when you come down to training. So he lost. That loss just took him to a whole new level. See? And once you know how to feel to lose that fight, it's hard to beat you. Yeah, I would always lean toward GSP.
All right, well, no one better to ask, and it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. You guys are like the coolest ever.
That's it, man.
That's how we roll, man. Hey, were you nervous, man? Your hands are sweaty. How come, man?
Super.
I thought you had a book for us, man.
Yes, also, I didn't forget what to say.
But you did a good job. You had some very good questions, man. So, so you got a good future in your career. All right. And Caesar, you're a bad mamma jamma, man. All of my hat goes off to you, brother.
All right.
Thanks for having me in there, possible.